Hearses are the last luxurious ride that one receives. No one ever dies in a hearse. Ambulances are a completely different story.
Elvira is one such story.
Norwich Hospital? No, I'm sorry, the hospital is closed.
In 1970, Norwich State Hospital received a new ambulance. They were overjoyed at their new coach, Leonard P. Anderson, their chief paramedic in particular. Mr. Anderson was looking forward to driving the 1970 Cadillac Medic 1 Rescuer. Little did he know, he would be driving her for the rest of eternity. In the 21 years of service, the ambulance had 496 documented deaths. This included mass murderer inmate John Franklin and chief paramedic Leonard P. Anderson. The ambulance began its documented notoriety in January of 1975, when Norwich State Asylum inmate John Franklin, who murdered another inmate, Leonard Flannery, tried to escape from the hospital through one of the windows. Franklin miscalculated his chances of surviving the fall on the roof of the ambulance. The original roof was so badly damaged from the fall that the garage maintenance staff had to replace it. There was little funding, so they were left with no choice but to do a very inadequate job of replacing the roof with one from a used ambulance out of a junkyard. Time paid its toll. The roof fell off in February of 1992 after the auction on the way to Clow, Michigan. On a cold winter day, January 13th, 1991. One of the maintenance staff discovered the old ambulance running with the lifeless body of Chief Paramedic Leonard P. Anderson slumped over the steering wheel. He was pronounced dead at the scene from a massive heart attack. In February of 1992, Evelyn McMullen and the Losna Clown Unit of LSED Court 28 from Clow, Michigan, purchased the old ambulance from an auction the hospital was having for the sum of $200. That was the beginning of the car's retribution. In June of 1996, the Shriners were in a parade in Clow, Michigan. Among the other clowns was a 9-year-old boy named Daniel. Daniel was suffering a losing battle with leukemia and had but one more wish. His wish? It was to ride in the parade with the lady clowns. Daniel's parents knew the inevitable, and they knew the good possibility of his passing during the parade. In the middle of the parade, Daniel passed away peacefully in Evelyn's arms. He had a smile on his face. That was the last tragedy that ever took place in that car. In 1998, the car was retired from the clown unit for a newer model. Tammy Williams and Lawrence Preston from Flint, Michigan, purchased the car from the clowns and used it as a fun and unique ride. May of 2008, owners of Shamrock Limousine, Jim Kelly and Christine McCullum took a road trip from Council Bluffs, Iowa to Flint, Michigan with their diesel truck and an empty car trailer. Tammy and Lawrence didn't know the history of the car. They just knew who they purchased it from. Jim and Christine knew the car would need a lot of work, but something, or shall we say, someone, compelled them not to leave it behind. Unbeknownst to the chauffeurs, their new addition to their livery stable still had passengers. As the days of new ownership passed, with restoration in full progress, many unexplained things happened. Odd, rusty medical instruments were found inside the doors by the upholsterer. Noises like tools being dropped near the car were clearly audible even during the day. Things left on the hood of the car would be thrown off. The doors to the car would be opened by an unseen force. Many cold spots, shadows, even whispers and feelings of being watched were hard to ignore. After a photo taken by a friend of Christine's, it was definitely clear that something paranormal was happening. Christine dug further into tracking down the car's history, starting by contacting Lawrence and Tammy. She didn't get much more information from them. She did, however, revisit the restoration photos and found something. There were clowns and words painted on the car that were barely legible. The letters were able to bring some matches on the internet. LOSNA stood for the Ladies Oriental Shrine of North America. LSED Court 28 in Clow, Michigan was the court that previously owned the car. Christine made a call that afternoon to the Grand High Priestess to see if she knew anyone who could help with tracing down the history of the car. And the Grand High Priestess was able to connect her with Evelyn McMullen, who was the second owner of the car and the lead clown in the court's clown unit. Christine learned the history of the car. Evelyn emailed copies of everything she kept on that car from the day of auction, including historical photographs of when the car was brand new. These photographs also included Leonard P. Anderson, who was the paramedic, as well as some members of the staff at the hospital. She also sent documents that included the multitude of tragedies associated with the car. These stories and documents told quite the story. This explained the reason behind a lot of the paranormal ongoings with that car. A paranormal investigation had been arranged promptly with Fly By Night Paranormal. Many credible people are members on the team, including a priest, an office assistant at a local mortuary, a production engineer from a local news station, a paramedic, and a police officer. Leonard Anderson seemed to be the most prominent of all spirits active in the car. It is believed that he is their guardian and will remain with the car until the last spirit from Norwich State Asylum crosses over.
For eternity, eternity.
Question throughout the entire night. Now, we know you worked over at the Earl building, and a lot of the claims you guys had experienced over there were the sounds of things being moved and...
Yeah, door slamming, tools being moved, falling.
Well, now, we're able to back those up on audio, so what I'd like to do is let you hear this and get your take if it's similar sounds that you experienced, you know, back when you were working there, and we'll go from there.
Good.
All right. This happened right near our investigators, and you'll actually hear Britt talking about your claims, and then it happened. It's very interesting.
They said it was just the sound of something heavy hitting the ground. They're assuming like tools.
Oh. Sounded like a shovel falling or something or other.
Listen to the sound specifically and see if you recognize the actual tones.
And if you can hear us, we'd like to hear from you.
You're mine, and we belong together. Yes, we belong